Now I've reached very important phase in my painting. It's the finishing, and I always like to do it very carefully so that I want to enhance what I want to communicate with the painting. But still, as you probably hear, I have opera playing in the background. It's La Bohème, one of my favorite operas. And then my birds, my budgies are singing, and I try to maintain sort of the same kind of freedom that I experience in the former phases. But what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go through the whole painting, every little inch there, and I'm going to look at each little spot and try to make it as beautiful as I can. Another thing before that, what I'm going to do is I have white gesso, and I'm going to make this portrait or profile a bit more distinct and clear. And I often use white gesso instead of white acrylic paint because I think it's a bit cheaper. And when I'm creating this artwork for the blog post, I usually don't think of spending that much of money, but I'm trying to create the image that shows some kind of, I would say, freedom. If you look at outside the window and see all those plants growing, I think that's what we all want to experience, to have the freedom to grow. And I think that all these images are similar to that. You want to have the freedom and you want to let something grow intuitively if you're into this kind of art. I've often talked about how copying photographs or copying scenes or landscapes don't inspire me that much. I still do value a lot of those artists who do all that kind of art. But I think that in art we all have to find our own strengths, and I think that this kind of approach, which includes a lot of feelings and a lot of thoughts, which describes more like my inner world, not so much of the outside world. I think that when I look at those plants and I look at the Finnish summer, I appreciate everything I see, but I also want to reflect how I feel more. And maybe you think that why didn't I pick green color when there's green outside, and I just don't feel green at this point. I kind of feel blue-green more, and I never question this kind of choices. I think that one really big mistake that people can do in art is that they question sometimes too much while they are creating. On the other hand, I try to question myself a lot when I'm not creating. And in this video there are breaks when I have waited for the color to dry. And that's the moment when I put a lot of thought, not so much about the composition or other technical stuff. I put a lot of thought about what I feel and what I want to express. I don't describe it so that it's in clear words, but I sort of play with the images in my mind. And with that, I don't mean that I then try to copy those images. I think that we often see images that represent our feelings, and they are like flashed images which are actually really difficult to copy. I just try to be really intense with all those thoughts, and then when I start creating, I have to have the feeling that I'm all full of those images, ideas, thoughts, feelings. It doesn't matter exactly what they are, but more that I feel very full. And when I listen to the music, I get inspired by the fact that the singers, they really know what they do, and they have a certain power there in them. And I think that when you create art, you have to be the star singer, you have to lead the whole show, and you have to enjoy that too. That's how I feel. Even if I'm alone in my studio and there's no interruptions or anything, just my birds singing a bit. But I do feel that at that moment I'm in charge, and I feel that it's a good feeling. So I'm going to continue with the painting now, and let's see how it turns out. as many of you know, last year I started my new life as a creative entrepreneur, and already at that time, a year ago, I had a dream about the class that would encourage people to express themselves more freely. And at that time I started to prepare material for the course that would give you new kind of experiences with art, new kind of freedom and more intuitive play. And finally, last June, I was able to run a course, Inspirational Drawing. Visual communication is very different from oral communication. I have often thought about artists who are very skillful, but they are unable to put everything they do into words. I find it really interesting, this relationship between images and words and understanding. And every time I've created something, very quickly even, I often think, why did I do that? How did I do that? Could I do that easier? Or in a more simpler way? Or could I do it in a way that other people could understand it better? And I think that that's the mindset, that's the teacher's mindset. And I must confess, I'm fully hearted teacher. I've always enjoyed teaching, and teaching art is really challenging, interesting, and I feel that it's much more than about art, how to hold a pencil or something like that, much more than the technical stuff. It's a lot what happens in our thoughts and what we are feeling and how we can open up ourselves to express everything we want. And that's what I especially want to deliver with inspirational drawing. Virginia Clinton says, "My approach to art has always been top-down, from the finished piece to planning the details. Because I've always been a perfectionist, that approach has often steered me towards mechanical or electronic sources for elements of a piece, or has prevented me from even starting a piece that I didn't think I could accomplish the vision in my mind or my heart." I think this is a very common problem, that people see a big picture and they want to express that, but our creativity doesn't actually work like that. That copying a big picture from our mind would somehow be natural. That's actually not natural. And Virginia continues, "This paradigm shift to intuition and bottom up, focusing on small areas, then intuitively pulling it all together, frees me to simply play and see what happens, and encourages me to use my own elements." And that's the result I really want everybody to have, to use your own elements and use your own creativity with freedom. Diane from Canada says, "My innermost feelings and thoughts became very clear and cohesive. As a result of this most unusual course, nothing like anything I have taken previously, these thoughts and feelings that were masterfully coaxed to the surface were then allowed free play on the paper. The possibilities for creating more original art for each individual is fascinating to me, as we all come from different life experiences. The limitations that I have felt have melted away." And I think this is brilliantly said. and it's often really surprising what kind of wisdom we have inside us. And I think that makes creating art so exciting and so fulfilling, to put all the little pieces, all the little flashbacks, all the little images or dreams that we have inside us and build a big picture from all of that. And that way we are not dependent on what everybody else says or what everybody else pins on Pinterest or anything like that. We are really free to express what's natural for us, and I believe in this kind of intuitivity and naturality, and I think that that will bring a lot of true happiness that doesn't melt away when things get rough, or when there's only little time for creating. So join me to inspirational drawing, and even if I'm not a native English speaker, I've thought through every step that I show you in the course. You will get a little bit of drama to embark your imagination, and you will also get guidance to how to let go and how to express your natural self. If you have already attended the class, I will have new classes under development, so hopefully you enjoyed this video, and hopefully you will continue following my weekly blog and also subscribing my weekly newsletter. So I really hope that this season, this fall season, will be really creative, full of inspiration, but more importantly, full of imagination.